Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at the Grammar Exercise 1 explanation for Chapter 9 of the Road to Latin textbook. Now, like I always tell you in these videos, if you haven't done it already, make sure you've actually done this grammar exercise on your own. You've practiced a little bit, you've read through all the notes, maybe done some magistrula, just something to make sure that you feel really comfortable with it. And you can find all that stuff on my website. So if you want to get some more resources or just things to help you on your way through, feel free to check out Nova Latin. I think in particular the Magistrula exercises linked there are really good just because you can get a lot of practice with random sentences, as many as you want, right? You can do. So anything like that is always a really good way to make sure that you have the grammar under control. Another thing I'd say is make sure you've read the stories because the story embeds a lot of this grammar in it. So if you already worked your way through the story and feel really comfortable with your translation, you're probably fine for these, okay? But like I always do in these videos, what we're going to do is we're going to start by diving in, and I'll explain each one as we go. Again, if you haven't worked on the Chapter 9 grammar exercises yet, pause the video and then come back. That way you can double check that your answers are close to mine, okay? So number one goes like this. You have taberna galbae est Romae, right? And I added the AE ending here. Now, this chapter was all about how you can tell or express place, rather, without a preposition, okay? So here, what you have in your translation is the shop of Galba is. Okay, now since we used est, the most logical version of the word Rome is to say it's in Rome. It wouldn't make sense to say it is towards Rome or it is away from Rome. Like, that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to show where it is. Now, in this chapter, you learn about the locative case, okay? And we learn that when you're talking about the name of a city, a town, or a small island, which I know sounds kind of random, but it is true, right? You don't use a preposition. You use what's called the locative case, all right? Now, for first declension nouns, like Roma, the locative looks like the genitive singular. So it's going to be an AE ending. So the way you can tell what's going on here is to say to yourself, okay, if I'm in Rome, right? Let's say that you saw this sentence without the AE added there, or rather with the AE added, right? Maybe it was just a sentence in a story. You know it's locative because it doesn't make sense to be genitive, right? It wouldn't make sense to say the shop of Galba is of Rome. Like, that's not what it is. So you're trying to say in Rome, since it's the name of a city, you use the locative, which is an AE. Okay, so it's a bit of a longer explanation, but I know at least for my students, the locative is something that kind of throws them off in the beginning. It just takes some practice. The key trick, like I said, is whenever you're talking about the name of a city or a town, you're going to be using locative when you're showing that you're inside that town, right? Sometimes we call it place in which. I think that's how the Road to Latin textbook describes it too. Okay? Now you have number two, and you have Galba multas amphoras in taberna habet. Now here, right, I added the long A. That's the answer, right? Taberna. You're saying Galba has many amphoras, right? Those are like the storage jars. Now you have in tabern something, right? So you're trying to say inside his shop, right? Because we're not showing any verb of motion, so you're not going into the shop or anything like that. We're just trying to explain that it's in the shop. Okay, so here we do have a preposition. Now, remember we learned in this chapter and the previous one talking about prepositional phrases, when you're trying to show position or location, right? You're inside something, use the ablative case, right? Taberna, shop, is not the name of a city or a small town or anything like that. So I'm not worried about locative. It would just be a long A because it's a first declension noun, right? In taberna. Now in number three, you have honorarii amphoras et urnas Athene blank, Rome blank, portant. And it's going to be Athenes and Roman. Okay, and we'll explain why. So the honorarii are the merchant ships. So you're saying the merchant ships carry, portant. What do they carry? Amphoras and urns, right? Amphoras et urnas. Now you have the name of two cities here, which should always catch your attention that you might be looking at a locative. Okay, so in this exercise, or sorry, in this number in the exercise, you actually had a little hint from Road to Latin. It was telling you to say from Athens to Rome. Now, if we're going from Athens or away from Athens, we use the ablative, right? So we're trying to just show that there's, motion away from, basically. Okay, so how do we express that? Well, you're looking to make it. It's going to be basically ablative plural, right? So when you're dealing with locative, okay, and things like that, it looks the same when it's pluralized as the ablative. So in other words, here, when you're trying to say from Baia, you don't need the preposition, okay? Or sorry, not from Baia, rather from Athens. I'm thinking of the notes from this chapter. But Athens is a plural word, so that's what kind of throws you off in this one. Athens is a Greek name, right? But it is plural, so you need to use the ablative plural here to get the point across, right? So Athenes is going to be what you're using to say, he's going from Athens. Okay. Now, the other one is to Rome. Now, here, again, when you're dealing with the name of a city, you don't need to have the preposition there. So to show that we're going to something, use the accusative. Roma, as opposed to Athens, Rome is a singular noun. It's a first declension singular, so you're just going to use the am ending, right? So you have Athenes and Roma. So now we go to number 4. You have honoraria, navigant Rome blank, Athene blank. Okay. Now, again, here, the actual textbook gave you a note that you're trying, well, it's going to show you where you're going, right? You're trying to go from Rome to Athens. So in number 3, we went from Athens to Rome. Now we've just reversed it, right, to give you that practice. So you're starting with honoraria, the merchant ships, they sail, navigant, right? They sail from Rome because you're going away from Rome. You use the ablative, right? It's singular, so it's going to be Roma, right? You don't need a preposition, to Athens. Now, again, the trick here is that Athens is plural. And since you're going towards Athens, you're using the accusative. So the accusative plural ending is really what you want here, right? This is where you end up with Athenas, right? To Athens, okay? In number 5, you have Athene blank at Rome blank, nautai tabernas intrant. Okay. Now, number 5, again, has a little hint in the actual textbook. You're trying to say in Athens and Rome. So in Athens and in Rome, nautai tabernas intrant, right? The sailors enter the shops, right? The nautai is your subject. Now, since we're talking about the name of a city and we're showing that we're inside that city, this is where we're going to use the locative case. So in Athens and in Rome, it's going to end up being Athenes at Romae, okay? So Athenes is locative plural. I was saying this on the previous one. Locative plural and ablative plural are the same ending, that is. So it's only really when you have locative singular, right? A singular town that it gets a little bit weird. So Athenes here just means in Athens. Now, Romae there with the AE is because Roma is singular. That's the locative singular ending. That looks like the genitive singular with that AE ending, right? So we mentioned that before. So that's how you say in Athens and in Rome. And the only reason they have slightly different endings is because one's plural and one's singular, right? That's the real trick to this. Now, in number 6, the last one, you have casa agricolae est rur blank, agricola uvas rur blank, porta, okay? Now, we're trying to say here, well, in the first one, you have casa agricolae, right? The house or the hut of the farmer is. And again, because we use the verb est, you're probably saying it's in something. In this case, you're trying to say in the country. Now, for the second half, the textbook gave you a note saying that it's the rur after uas is from the country. So you're trying to say the farmer carries grapes from the country. Now, to understand what's happening here, you might want to go back and double check the grammar notes for this chapter. So the words domus, which means home, and rus, which means the country, the countryside, they have something similar to the name of a town, basically. So you don't need the preposition to go with it. Now, they're forms that we haven't quite seen yet, but you can just check the textbook, right? Take a look at the notes if you're using our website, and it'll explain how you do this. But to say in the country, you're going to use the word rori, right, with a long I. That's how you say something is in the country in this case, okay? So when you say casa agricolae est rori, you're saying the hut of the farmer is in the country. Now, when you're trying to say he's carrying grapes from the country, right, that's where we're using the ablative. So that rori is really locative, right? So that first one is the locative of place in which is kind of how you'd say it, right, if you want to be a little grammary. Okay. But in the second half, since we're going away from the country rather, it's going to be ablative, which is rore. And I know we haven't seen that form yet, but we will see it as you go and it'll make a lot more sense. So rore means from or away from the countryside. Okay. So that's how you get number 6 done. So that's it for this grammar exercise. The trick to prepositions and not using prepositions is to really practice it, right? It feels a little confusing. It's not. The general idea is the same. When you're going towards something, it's going to be accusative, right? Whether or not it's the name of a city or anything like that. If you're going away from something, it's going to be ablative, okay? The only trick here is that when you're using the name of a city, town, or a small island, you're not going to use a preposition. Okay, so there won't be a prepositional phrase there. That's the only difference. And then you have the locative case, right, which is really when you're talking about the place in which something's happening, when you're dealing with a city, town, or a small island, right? It's really not too bad. Just practice it. And like I said, if you feel confident in this, make sure you've done the story, some magastrulas. There's a lot of good ways to practice it. And eventually you hit a point where you feel really confident. If you were able to do all 6 of these without too much trouble, you're probably ready to move on. Good luck.